Okay, everybody, today we're going to be solving systems of equations by graphing, but this time with a calculator. So I have a virtual Texas Instrument 83 Plus. If you have something similar like a TI 83, an 84, an 82, a bit of an antique, but they all work very similarly and you can follow along, I'm pretty sure. Alright, so I got my cursor blinking here on this thing called the home screen. If we're in any other screen and we want to get to this screen, we could go quit, which is right here in yellow to be a second function. We're also going to be working a lot right here with the y equals button. So I have nothing here. If you have things here, you can clear them. So if you have like some function, the clear button will get rid of that. And we're going to plug these two functions in. And we're going to graph them. I'm going to put parentheses around the slope if it's a fraction. And I'm going to graph. Sometimes I could hit this button to graph if my window is set the way that I want it already. I am going to start off by zooming standard, which gives me a window from -10 to 10 in both directions. And what I'm looking for is a point of intersection, which we've seen in other lessons, such as solving systems of equations by graphing by hand. Alright, so here is my intersection, and I could estimate, but my estimation isn't going to be good enough. In fact, this is why we're going to the graphing calculator, because not all systems have really nice, easy solutions, something that would be guessable, or things perhaps that you'd like a quicker way to get a solution than by solving by substitution. So here's what I'm going to show you. Right here at Calc, we're going to be able to calculate the intersection. We're going to do this plenty of times, so you should get the hang of it. So we're going to go second, trace, which is calc, and we are going to go number 5, which is intersect. Now I could just hit the 5 button or go down and hit enter once the 5 is selected. Now there's going to be a series of 3 questions. This says first curve question mark. Now curve could be function. They don't say first line. It's always first curve with this calculator. It's a little bit strange. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the cursor really close to the intersection and really just hit enter 3 times, because after the second time it says second curve. Now if I use my left or right keys, you'll see that I'm on the second equation. In fact, we also have the equation up here in the corner. And then the next thing it's going to say is guess, and I just want to be close to that intersection. So the way I do it is I just get close to the intersection, hit enter 3 times real quick, and then I get answers down here. So 2.625, 3.875, that is my first answer. So 2.625, 3.875 as an answer. I'm going to go to the home screen, second, quit, and I am going to plug in 2.625, and then I'm going to see what that is as a fraction. So I'm going to go to math, which is right here, and then to number, which is 1 to the right, nope, actually back 1, to this fraction button, which is option number 1, and hit enter, and it says 21/8. Now 21/8 is 2, and how many left over? 5/8. 2 and 5/8. And then I could do that again for 3.875. 3.875. Go math, turn it into a fraction, enter 31/8. 31/8. 8, 16, 24. So that's 3 with another 7 left over. 3 and 7/8. So my answer as a decimal, the point 2.625, comma 3.875, and as fractions 2 and 5/8, comma 3 and 7/8. Imagine trying to get that by hand with this amount of accuracy. That's what the calculator is good for. Okay, next one. Go to y equals, plug these in. I'm just going to clear these. Parentheses around my slope when they're fractions. Whenever you're using the negative button, make sure you use this, or else you're going to get a syntax error. So here's my negative and here's my minus. Calc, intersect, scroll towards the intersection, and hit enter 3 times. So here's my answer written out on the page so I can see it once I go to a different screen. Negative 1.428571, comma, negative 1.714, oh, I guess I missed a 286. I start writing, that's going to go away. 286. Now, if I try the trick that I tried last time, and I just realized I could just, got rid of that negative 1 so I didn't have an improper fraction. Maybe that would have been easier. Let me show what I mean. For this right here, I put in 2.625. If I had gone to the home screen and gone 0.625 math, fraction, enter, it gets me 5/8. Whereas when I put in 2.625 math, fraction, enter, 21/8. So a proper fraction, improper fraction. For some people, that takes a little bit more work to get from 21/8 to 2 5/8. Or here you could just look at the 5/8 and go, okay, it's the 2 plus the 5/8. A little bit easier. So I'm on this one, and I'm going to try it again. I'm going to leave off the negative 1. So 0.428571, and math and fraction and enter, and it doesn't help at all. The reason is that's not the complete fraction. There's more to it. Whereas on the previous problem with the 0.625, that was a terminating decimal. This one is not, so the calculator can't deal with that. So I've got another little trick to show you. We're going to go to Stat and Edit, which is the option. It's the default, so just hit Enter. And in list 1, I'm going to put the numbers 1 through 6. Oh, I guess I gotta tell you a little trick. I recognize these as sevenths, so I'm going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's no sense putting in 7 because 7 sevenths we all know is 1. Now over to the right, I'm going to go up 1, so it's right here. And make sure you are up highlighting L2. So I'm going to do list 1 divided by 7. Now list 1 is right there. Second 1 divided by 7, and then just hit the down arrow, and I'll calculate your decimal with 5 decimal places of precision for 1/7, 2/7, 3/7, 4/7, etc. So I can look at that and go, that first one is a 1/7, and the next one is a 5/7. So this is negative 1 and 1/7, comma, negative 1 and 5/7. And I'm going to leave that in the calculator because we're going to have more answers that have 7s. In fact, I got one more fraction type for you, and we're just going to go ahead and put that in now. So we're going to go over to list 3, and we're going to do 1 through 10. And then we're going to go to the right. There are more lists. Go up, hit list 3, which is here, so second 3, divided by 11. So we're going to have 11ths for some of our other answers. And then down, and it'll calculate your 11ths. So interesting numbers. You see 0.1818, 0.2727, 0.3636, 0.4545. 11ths are kind of cool. So those are some fractions that are kind of uncommon, but you deal with numbers enough, you'll start to recognize them. Okay, third one. negative down here. So I'm hitting graph because I've got the standard zoom I typically want. And look at this time, the intersection's over here a little bit. So I'm going to try to trace and see if I can get the screen to scroll. So trace will jump on one function or the other, and then I'm going to use the right arrow and see if it will redraw if I exceed the limit of this part of the window. And it is redrawing, and it wasn't long before I saw the intersection, so right there. And it looks, wow, that's neat. It looks like 10-0, but that was by trace, and never trust trace. So we're going to go to calc, intersect, and my cursor's right where I want it, enter, 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 and in fact it was the point 10-0. So that would have been a pretty easy one to actually get your answer on graph paper, except for, would you really wanted to have graphed something where the y-intercept was -40? Probably not. So by substitution, this probably would have been something that would be fairly easy, I suppose. So 10-0. Now we're going to try another one that's going to be very similar to that one. In fact, I think only that 3 has changed. We'll see. So -1/2 x plus 5 is still the same, and I've changed this to 3x. And graph, my window is the window I just had, but oh, yeah, got to scroll a little bit more to the right. That scrolling takes a little while. What I'm going to do now is show you another zoom function. Go zoom and zoom out, and I can't do this as well in the virtual TI as you can, where you could just take your cursor and hit enter a little bit quicker, but just get your cursor, hit enter, and it'll center around where your cursor last was, and zoom in or out in this case. So now I can see the intersection. Go second, calc, intersection, enter, 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 and 0.857, 0.42857. Those are numbers that we've seen recently. Those are our sevens. So go into your stat where you've already got those decimals and see what you can get for the fraction. Okay, so they were under stat, edit, and here they are. We're looking for 0.857143. That's right here. That was 6/7, and 4.28. We had that one before. That's 5/7. So 6/7 and 5/7. 12 and 6/7, comma, -1 and 5/7. Now, all I'm really interested in here is the intersection. I don't really need to zoom in because the calc function is going to work just as well, whether I'm zoomed in or zoomed out. Just got to get near that intersection. That's probably good enough. 1.2727, 3.3636. We've seen those before. So we go to stat, and we're going to take a look at our 11ths. And 2727 is 3/11, and 3636 is 4/11. 1 and 3/11, comma, 3 and 4/11.